You're listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about my four favourite subjects, that's movies,
TV shows,
video games,
and board games. I'm your host, Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. This week's episode, we're continuing our spooktacular season in October. This week's episode, we're not going to be talking about a movie franchise. We will be talking about those moments in movies, in horror movies specifically, that make us jump out of our skin, and that is our top 5 jump scare moments of all time. I'm joined around the table by guys that love to talk about jump scare moments. Introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hey guys, it's Grey Fox.
Hey everyone, it's Dave, aka
That was good.
That was damn good, damn it.
Dude, I love the fact how we started this episode and you needed to look at the poster to know what letter you had to say.
I get scared that I'm going to say it wrong. That's my fear.
How many years have you been doing this and you don't know the fucking logo?
It's fear. I don't know what it is.
You're practically the co-host of this podcast.
Yeah, you're like experienced.
I just get paranoid when you have to say to people something, you got to read this, and I'm like,
He looked up at the poster.
I get a panic. And I wasn't ready for it, to be honest.
So spooktacular season. So we've obviously talked a few episodes about movie franchises. We're going to do something different to save some more franchises for next year, and we're going to talk about moments in horror movies about basically jump scares. Gal, welcome on to Spooktacular. You did a couple of the commentary corners last year on Spooktacular, haven't you? Yeah. And then the last time before that was the favourite epic horror movies of all time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not regular on the Spooktacular, I guess.
No, but you do know your horror movies.
I do know. I do.
Welcome to the Spooktacular.
So let's start with a few questions as normal and then do the top 5s. First off, do you like jump scares?
Yes. Yeah, of course you do.
Course.
That's why you watch horror movies, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a place for your tension and your threat and your,
Well,
but then also you get that little hit, don't you, when you jump, when something actually makes you jump, and it's like,
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. You go in for the scares, and it's kind of disappointing when a movie doesn't actually do that, and it's just like, or you expect it. So that's that in that element. But I do love the ones that actually, it doesn't even have to be like a horror movie. Sometimes, I've got some on my list, not on my number 5 of them honorable recommendations. It's not even a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, still gets you.
Yeah.
there's a lot of games actually that you can think of that do really good jump scares.
We might save that for next year. Who
okay.
knows?
I was gonna say because I was talking about this with my sister and brother-in-law because we play a lot of the horror games together, and I think it's because you're in control. Yeah, when something jumps out on you, it feels like you're involved in it more because you're
immersive, isn't it?
Yeah, you're guiding what's happening. So you've directly triggered
especially in
whatever
VR. Oh man, have you ever seen Little G do VR? I can't remember what game it was. He shot himself, man.
Yeah, my brother-in-law did the VR.
DVD you talk about? Or VR, sorry.
VR.
Oh, VR,
yeah,
sorry.
VR.
Yeah, my brother-in-law did the Resident Evil little demo called The Kitchen or something like that.
Okay.
And it had that woman, Ethan's wife.
Oh, yes, and she comes out.
She comes out, and in VR. It was just like a little demo.
Was that 7?
Yeah, it was
originally
originally called Kitchen, and then they're like, oh, well, we can use this for Resi, and they just changed it, didn't they? That was the rumours. I don't know how official it was.
Anyway, that made him jump like fucking crazy. That boy knows how to jump scare.
Does a movie have to have, a horror movie have to have jump scares in it?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, you kind of said it like it's a very horror cliche. Like you said at the beginning, you watch horror movies for jump scares, but do they necessarily have to have them?
No. You can have different types of horror, as we've said multiple times before.
Don't get me wrong, I love jump scares, but going on what you'd said, I love movies where, like, you go in, watch a horror movie, and then it still scares you after.
Okay.
So that sense, it doesn't have to be like, for example, Paranormal Activity.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all saw it as my mates back in the day. And I kid you not, we were messaging as well. We slept with the lights on. We were like batshit scared. Like me, I get scared with like anything demonic or
ghost things. Yeah.
So and one example as well, Candyman. Not for jump scares. I know there is jump scares.
The original
one. It's like the film's okay, but the whole aspect of saying Candyman in the mirror 5 times. Every time I go into the bathroom, I'm just looking at the mirror and I'm in my head. Don't say Candyman.
Could you do it now?
No, I can't.
If we had a mirror in here,
would you go up to 4 times and then say the fifth?
No, I wouldn't.
I just can't do it.
But
Man.
it's my mind that just does it.
Yeah.
It's like it says it in my head, like Candyman.
Just do it now.
Shut up! Don't think about it.
Say it 5 times now.
No.
You're not in a mirror. It's fine. You're in a safe environment.
No, there's reflections all around me. No,
say it.
In the studio. No.
Candyman.
No, don't, because I've got to drop him home right now.
Well, you won't have to drop him over if he's been murdered.
That's true.
Liberties, mate.
You just have to hose down the interior.
Him
of the
murdered in
studio.
a white man's house. Damn, I'm going to be suspect number 1, aren't I?
No one's coming for me.
No one's coming for you.
I said no one's.
Don't say Candyman 5 times. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Do it. Spooktacular season.
So, does the movie, if it has a jump scare in it, let's say the movie you're watching is a horror, it's a bit of a slow burn and a bit of a bore, but then all of a sudden this jump scare sort of wakes you up and gets you back into the film. Does it make the film better at all for having the jump scare in it, or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
100%. I think
It gives you like a little hit of adrenaline, doesn't it? Like
especially when it's the scene or it's going a bit talkative or like you're saying a bit boring, and then you see the jump scare and you're like, oh shit, and especially ones that you don't expect, and then you're like ready, like, and you're like, okay, things is happening, and then
it can
story kicks off.
Yeah, it can like remind you or bring you back to the point that you are in like a horror.
So it's a little wake up call.
Yeah, well, like, otherwise it could be in a scene where they're just exploring or whatever, and you doing some expo and things like that, and it just snaps you back into the it takes away the safety blanket of like, oh, they're talking about something or whatever. I can relax a little bit because the tension's ramped down, but then suddenly something happens,
or sometimes it could set the tone of the whole film right in the beginning. Like you're just watching a film and you're like, oh shit, like like just out of nowhere.
Like Randy Orton. From out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you think horror movies need the jump scare at all?
Well, like I said earlier, I think there's the best types are one that where you take away and you're still scared of it, like the film. But I don't think necessarily it needs the jump scares. I think there's other ways of doing it. But me personally, I don't mind a jump scare.
Well, what I found with this is there are certain things that you remember, particular jump scares. And when I was talking about this, like I said, with my brother and sister and things like that, they always had particular movies where you remember that particular moment because it made you jump the first time you watched it. So it does have a good element of, like reminding you of, or sinking it into your memory.
Yeah, it's affected you enough to like still remember it to this day, isn't it?
You two probably have movies on your list now that you immediately were like, oh shit, yeah, I remember that. That made me jump out of my skin.
100%.
Yeah, so like it's a way of enhancing the movie because it sticks in your mind, doesn't it?
Some horror movies have what they call the loud and the not so loud jump scare. Is there one you prefer at all?
So a lot of jump scares can be quite cheap. I like to describe them as cheap.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
Like, they're deliberately doing it to try and I'm not a massive, like a loud noise or something, like someone will like knock over a plate or something, or a stack of pans or something.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be music that makes you jump. It's the sound of something.
Sometimes the loud sound, I feel like it's a little bit done cheaply just to try and make you jump. And I think sometimes that can be a bit lazy, but the ones that I've chosen, because I think they add to it. But I think some of the bad, not as good horror movies rely on that.
Yeah.
Rather than maybe good tension building or good storytelling or whatever, or good, effects, practical effects. Because a cheap way of getting someone to jump
It's the sound.
or scare them is to suddenly go like, or,
Yeah.
you know, someone knock something over and when it's all quiet, you know.
I think for me, it's the more like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much without spoiling one on my list, but there's one where like it's not a horror film, but a bit like a thriller. But the whole tone of the film is based on this aspect, and it's utilized so well. And when you actually see it, it's so shocking. But it's not like with the sound. It's just like you just watch and you're like, oh god, and it's just like, oh shit, you know, you freak out.
I love moments like that.
Yeah, so I prefer those moments. I prefer to what, as Dave said, the sound or the cheap sort of, which I'm not.
Yeah, I mean,
it still gets me.
There are horror movies out there that has jump scare after jump scare after
Yeah.
jump scare, and that's where it gets, like Dave said, cheap,
like, you know,
tame, lame.
But I also think. Sorry, do you want to carry on?
No, carry on. Yeah,
I was going to say, I also think, particularly like, for example, me, my sister, probably, you know, you guys, people who watch horror movies a lot, you can almost start to spot them coming.
Oh yeah.
If they're done badly and just like we were, you know, a bit cheap, like you can say, oh look, there's no music anymore. It's all gone sudden, suspiciously quiet, you know, and they're trying to, you know, and then you just think, I bet something's going to jump out.
Yeah,
you know, and it'll be like a cat or something will run across,
or
you know,
someone in the
and they'll
background.
go, yeah, and you can see it coming, so it doesn't work as well. So, like I say, the ones that I've sort of done have tricked me into like a false sense of security, and then definitely a couple of them on there, you know, tricked you into a false sense of security, so you're not expecting it, particularly when you're a seasoned horror watcher.
I was literally about to ask you for that phase where you have horror fans. Do you still enjoy watching those movies or watching new horror films, even though you know you've got a feeling something's coming?
Yeah, I like to be shocked, or I do like when something pushes, you know, because you've seen a lot, you know, we're all adults, we all watched a lot.
Yeah.
You got a big knowledge of stuff to think about. So I like it when something gets you. When something gets past your guard and makes you go, oh, fuck me, Jesus, that got me going, you know,
and then that film immediately that goes up the rest. And whereas this is what I'm saying. I am a horror fan, but I more and more I watch horror films and I'm not like scared, or it's like, oh, I've seen that before. Oh yeah, he's gonna die, or it was, you know. So that's the reason I stay off horror films. But when, like you said, when it does get you, you're like, oh shit, okay, I didn't see that coming. Okay, you know, like, you know, what else they got for me, sort of thing. So that's what excites me.
Yeah, nice. And obviously, last question now is: do you prefer movies with or without the jump scares in them now?
As long as it's not overdone.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's used,
Just if it's done right, basically.
Yeah. 'Cause if it's not relying heavily on that to try and get that, if it's not, that's how it's going to get its scares. You know, if it's used well alongside good suspense building, good foreshadowing, or, you know, really good character, you know, creations, horror, then I'm all for it. And I think it enhances it because it's a good way to sort of keep you on your toes, keep you on edge. In, like you said earlier, the slower parts where something's happening,
and then something just hits
and
you.
Then suddenly something gets you, or you see the ghost in the window or whatever. Yeah, you know.
I love you did the facial expression. No one can see it, but it's fantastic. What about you, Jay?
I think horror films should have it. I mean, if sometimes if you're watching and you're not scared, it's totally fine. But if you're watching as a group and you're watching it with someone and they get scared, I guess it's part of the
everyone gets scared for different reasons, don't they?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm all for it. I mean, it's not like, it's just when it doesn't get you, you're just like, okay, that's not, you know, it just becomes a normal film. But when it does, I prefer it when it really surprises me. But I prefer jump scare.
Nice.
Quick question for you guys: have you ever been in the situation where you're watching something with a group of people, and something that wouldn't have made you jump makes somebody else right next to you jump?
Oh, 100%.
And them jumping terrifies the crap out of you because you're sort of engrossed in the film, and then someone screeching next to you. Have you had that?
Oh yeah, one of my entries is kind of that moment.
Nice. Yeah, go into it when we get to it. Because like I say, that my blooming brother-in-law, he's so terrible for that. You'll be doing something or playing a horror game or whatever, and then you'll be like, I can see this coming, and you in your head you're prepared for whatever. That's going to like suddenly run towards the screen, or like, you know. Yeah. and then suddenly he'll scream so loudly next to you that it terrifies the crap out of you because it's not on the screen, it's in real life.
Have you ever watched a movie and you know the jump scares come in and you show it to other people and you wait for their reaction?
You got to try.
I was just about.
You got to try and look sidelong so they don't see you watching them.
I used to. My number one. I'll go into it later, but it's that moment. Let's put it that way.
Nice.
Same.
There is something quite satisfying. Just
it's so like, especially you go like, oh my god, I got. And you're like, oh, hang about, someone's coming up. Oh, they haven't seen this film. Let's
unless of course John is there. Because John would go, oh, there's a jump scare coming up in a minute.
Dude, he ruined one of my things earlier. He told me there was a twist in it. And I just like, oh, it's Johnny, oh, there's a twist. No, I know there's a twist.
Oh yeah, that was today.
Yeah, it's like a Star Wars twist in one of the video games or something. There's a twist in it at the end. Like proper John style. You bastard.
I'm going to look for the twist.
I am the Dominator.
No, but John would be like, oh, watch this part, guys. Watch this part.
Yeah, there's a good bit coming up right now.
Just watch this. Watch your eyes.
Watch behind the person.
He like, that fucking guy. It's such a spoiler.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
I love you.
Anything else? If not, we'll go to top fives.
Let's do it.
Do it.
It's time for a top 5.
So we're gonna roll the dice.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
See who goes first. Number 14 for Big Gal. 2 for Dave. It looks like Gal's go first. Oh, we got 20. It's me. Woohoo! I go first.
Suck it, G.
So, of course, guys, if we don't mention your jump scare or your horror movie, you should have been on this episode, or, get your own fucking podcast. Number 5.
Number 5.
So I'm going first for once. This is a bit.
I was going to say, you're not used to going
I'm never
first,
used to going first, right?
You got tripped up last time.
I did.
You did.
I've got proper thrown over the place. But I'm ready this time. Anyway.
He's practiced. He's come back better.
I'm ready. Here
stronger.
Faster, better. My number 5 is a movie from the director of Back to the Future, and it's a movie called What Lies Beneath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? You ever seen the Big Gal?
I think, yeah.
Starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford. I put this pick in here because there are 2 jump scares in this movie that scared the fucking shit out of me. And both out of nowhere, never come through. If no one's familiar with the movie, it's kind of Robert Zemeckis' homage to Alfred Hitchcock. The way it's filmed and how it's essentially like the girl next door sort of story, all done in one house, and it's a haunting story where she finds out her husband, Harrison Ford, has had an affair with this girl. Spoiler warning, he kills her, he's a killer, and the ghost of this, the woman he had an affair with is sort of like, haunting Michelle Pfeiffer, trying to get to clues that Harrison Ford's the guy, he's an evil person. So the first jump scare in this movie, she's in the house all around Michelle Pfeiffer. She's looking around. It's all dark. It's all wet, raining outside, whatnot. And it's not even really a music hit or anything. It's literally just she feels like there's a presence in the house, and all of a sudden, next minute, the stereo just comes on and it goes like that, and you feel like shit. It's like a monster or something just popped out. It's not. It's literally just the radio tuning into something, and it just hit you because you didn't see it coming. You wasn't expecting it. And Michelle, I think they've done it to Michelle Pfeiffer on that scene because her reaction is spot on. Like if you jumped out your skin, that's how you would react to it.
Is it a scary film in general?
It's haunting. It's not like it's in the horror genre horror genre sort of thriller sort of presence to it. But like I said, it's very true to what Alfred Hitchcock would have done.
Okay.
And the second jump scare in that is a part where you find out Harrison Ford's the killer, and he basically chloroforms his wife, Michelle Pfeiffer, and then she goes all limp, numb. She can't move. She's all comatose, if you will, isn't she? Paralyzed as well, I'm looking for even. And he puts her in a bath, and essentially, when you put her in a bath and the bath is overflowing, she will drown. Okay. And then all of a sudden, he notices that she's wearing the same necklace his girlfriend had, the one he killed. So he leans over, pulls her forwards, and tries to take the necklace off, and he does. And when he pulls her back, you see the girl, and it's like a horror ghost-looking thing, and it's such a good way it's done because again, the way she just turns back and it's like ah! Never saw it coming. Still to this day, I went back and saw this movie again just to see people's reaction to that one. I love this movie, but I literally went back specifically on mine because that was the days when I went and watched movies on my own, and went back and watched that specifically. And I was sitting there waiting just to see what everyone's reaction would be like.
Was
They're like, or was Dave's one? But I can't deny, I put that in there for those two things there. I was going to put another movie in there, which I'll mention probably in another episode. But What Lies Beneath, I can't deny those two really freaked me out on that one, so I've gone for
Gotta
that.
love a good like ghost apparition like that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You should watch it if you've never seen it. But I kind of given away that Harrison Ford's the bad guy in this film.
I'll
So
forget.
spoilers, but it is like 23 years old, this movie. So
I think you need to press the spoiler button as well. It's too late now.
Spoiler warning.
are you happy now? Is that better? Right. Big Gal, number 5, sir.
Yeah, mine was going to be quite sweet, and it's not a film that's in a horror genre, and it's
Well, it should be because it's a horror episode.
but this is what I was saying earlier. So it doesn't technically need to be, and it's similar to your.
Can I make a guess?
Go on.
Is it Lord of the Rings?
No, that's an honourable mention actually, and
Yeah.
that creeped the shit out of me. To be honest,
Is
it's
it
on my honourable mention.
Yeah, the Fellowship of the Ring.
I don't want to do it.
a horror movie.
No,
you
I know,
can't be
but-
honourable
but-
mention.
But it's there's a good little jump scare in that.
It's a jump scares though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Top 5 jump scare.
If in the horror movies, this is a horror episode.
Well, the one I'm talking about.
Right, but
kind
carry
of
on
is.
anyway, yeah.
So it's the beginning part of the moment jump scares in Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you
the
know-
very, very beginning.
Yeah, so I think we've talked about it previously, but I'll set the mood. Obviously, Quiet Places. I think this
Definitely put it in a horror genre.
Oh, okay. I wasn't.
Yeah, I would.
sure.
I'd say that. Horror sci-fi sort of thing.
Do you put it in romance?
No, because I think what was so brilliant about it as well, like a lot of people didn't know about because the creature or whatever the thing that overtook.
You don't see what it is.
You don't see it at all.
We don't have an idea of it, do we?
You go in blind anyway, and you're just like, okay, and then you see this family that's obviously keeping quiet and everything's desolated, sort of thing. You know, they're getting supplies, and it's really quiet. And then obviously they've already patched out where they have to step on, like
Sand, isn't it? Yeah.
You're like, okay, that's a bit weird. Obviously, again, clueless. You go first time, you're completely clueless, and then obviously the kid picks up a toy. And the dad says no. Obviously, I think he takes the batteries out, but the daughter puts the battery back in. It's like a little plane.
Yeah.
And he puts it back in, and she says, don't put it on, turn it on or whatever. And obviously they still follow this family. They're going through the woods again, slowly making no sound, stepping on the trail of sand.
Still no reason as why everyone's being quiet.
Really, like I'll say 5-10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, and they get to the bridge, and you're like, okay, what's going on? This is where you're like, okay, like, you need to show me something, sort of thing. And then the kid turns on the plane. And it's like, I can't remember the sound. It goes,
It's like a little car alarm sort of thing.
Is it
A rocket alarm, yeah.
And the sheer horror of this father. The father turns. I think he screams, no.
No, he doesn't. He just turns like, and he needs to say something, but he doesn't.
And then, like, obviously, he's running towards him, and then
we see in the far distance, some bushes moving, isn't there, or something?
And you see all the shock and all the family, and within a blink of an eye, the blink of an eye, the kids just go. Poof, something
grabs it.
Yeah,
doesn't
you don't
it?
even see it. Just,
you see it for a quick glimpse, like a monster of some sort, doesn't it?
And it just like.
And the dad, within reaches, misses out and can't get him. So flat out, the start of the movie, a kid dies.
Bang. and I think the title comes after that, Quiet Place.
Yeah, he like mourns for a second, then it comes up, A Quiet Place.
Swear,
that is a good opening.
And that set the tone, and the whole cinema was quiet. It was like exactly the title, Quiet Place. Everyone was like eating their popcorn quietly as well. It's like, all you can hear is, that's all you hear.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Slowly put their hand into the popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
You're like, shh.
So I think it's brilliant. Brilliant film, cinema at its best. And I don't think an opener, I've never seen a scary or a movie
or jump out sort of moment
like that in a long, long while, and it had to be said. I know we've spoken about it,
but it builds up the tension because, like you were saying, you're trying to work out what's going on, and you've got the silence the whole way through, haven't you?
That's it. And throughout the whole film, it is silence, isn't it? So perfect.
Works very well. Yeah,
good shout. Number 5, Dave.
Good example of a movie using clever jump scares, isn't it? Like we were saying,
very clever.
My number 5. Right, so my number 5, we may have talked about this on a Spooktacular. I'm going to talk about it quickly again.
Okay.
because it is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original, okay.
Yeah.
What part?
The part where you've got Franklin and his sister by the van in the night. And they have that whole conversation, don't they? Yeah, we need to go and find him, give me the keys. And he's like, yeah. Did that not make you fucking jump the first time? We talked about this.
Pretty much.
We talked about that a little bit when we were talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Spooktacular. Go listen to it.
Last week's episode.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. If you haven't listened to it. Because we were said then, it's like, you're in almost like a false sense of security, because we both thought, they're not going to kill They're
not going to leave the house and come out that way.
They're not going to kill the wheelchair
guy.
The guy who's disabled in the wheelchair. So they're having a conversation in the dark.
Poor John.
A little bit of a risky situation in a movie like that, but you're thinking, nah, he's all right. They're not going to brutally kill her. Right. You're all right. They're not going to kill they're not going to brutally kill a guy in a wheelchair. So in my head, I was kind of like, oh yeah, let's see if they do go, and maybe they're going to go back in the house, or she's going to go and look for it. I was not expecting the next shot to be. He says something like, Franklin says something like, "Did you hear something?" And then it's like with the chainsaw going, mate. And then he literally fucking chainsaws him straight down. Didn't he?
Yeah, big time.
That made me jump so much when I watched that.
That's good. Yeah.
Time. So I know we've already talked about Texas.
No, but that's a good shout. I completely forgot about that moment.
So I'm not again. I love horror movies
because we watched part 2 recently. I always remember that one where it's coming out of the DJ room, whatever it is, the radio room, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I wasn't particularly scared of Texas. I don't know. Oh
man, I was.
Yeah, I was.
Apart from probably the ending where it looks like it was real, where they go down the police. Yeah. Apart from that, but I think
what?
Am I talking the wrong one?
You're talking about a different one.
Where the police go down.
He's watching the remake.
The remake.
That's the remake you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I just
the OG 1974, wasn't it?
Yeah. Listen to Spooktacular Texas Chainsaw.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being on the episode, mate.
No, I just said because it uses you've got like a full sense of security. You're not quite expect it to happen. I was sort of expecting her to maybe go off on her own and then get jumped out.
100%. I thought she was going to go in there and be like,
and it is literally like, what's that sound? And it's a good shot.
I'd love to have been there to see people's reaction to that when that is in the cinema back in the 70s, man. Just,
because you've got that evocative sound, that, iconic chainsaw going, haven't you? And it's loud and brash. There's a good jump.
Yeah, 100%.
Jump scare, that
well good.
So that is why Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my number 5.
Nice. We'll go to number 4s.
Number 4.
My number 4 is not the best of movies, especially to major fans of the series. But mine is a jump scare from the movie Nightmare on Elm Street, the 2010 remake.
Oh, the remake.
The remake.
I've seen that.
There is one... I think this is one of my favourite of all time, hence why it's on the list. And I used to show this scene to people, and it guaranteed scared the shit out of them. When I saw this in the cinema... It's basically setting the scene. We all know what Freddy is. He hunts people in their dreams. This kind of jump scares in 2 halves. So the first half is the woman or the girl in the dream, and she's kind of going through this old school, and it's all very snowy, looks very pretty, but the school's all dark and deranged and halfway burnt down sort of thing. And she's walking around, she's looking at all these classrooms, and all she can hear is this countdown is, 1, 2, 3, 4... And it gets to 9, 10, and then all of a sudden she sees Freddy in a room, and he's hiding his face against a blackboard and goes, "Ready or not?" And he scrapes the claws on the fingers, "Here I come," and he jumps at the camera, and then, she wakes up. So that's kind of one jump scare, but that one's coming.
Yeah.
This is where I think this is the best tension-building jump scare ever. I should have put this further down on my list, but when you have my ones, it's you kind of understand why it's up here. But what happens is she wakes up, she's next to her boyfriend in bed. She has a look in her room, she's fine, she's safe, he's asleep. She tries to wake him up, and he's like, no, I'm okay, just leave me alone and whatnot. Goes in the bathroom and washes her face.
I know where I remember now, yeah.
Washes her face, and you're waiting for somebody to move the mirror, you expect Freddy to come, nothing happens. She goes down and does this, you expect something to happen, doesn't happen. So it's waiting for you to it's going to happen. It doesn't. It just doesn't keep going. The scene carries on and on and on. And this is the perfect placement of a jump scare ever. She comes in her room, so the camera pans down to the boyfriend. He's still asleep on the bed. All right, now it pans back to her. She's walked into the room. It stays on her face as she comes down. She's smiling. She knows she's safe. Everything's fine. Comes down onto the bed. She still hasn't lied down yet. And then the next part, she leans down with the camera. And then Freddy's right behind and goes, "Found you," as loud as you can. That is the jump scare. That's the boom. That's the music, is the part of him going, "Found you." And then everyone, I kid you not, everyone in that cinema freaked the fuck out. Now, I saw this movie, the first showing during the day when this came out. I was super hyped for this movie. Not a very good movie. I saw it on the first showing that day. It was a Friday. I went and saw it again that evening. Just to see everyone's reaction to that again. I love this jump scare so much. The movie, again, like I said, is not great, but I used to show this jump scare to people. I used to have it on I used to have the movie on an old iPod, and I would put it to people on a headphone, like we wear headphones now, put the volume up well loud. You just see him just jump up and everywhere. It works, guaranteed. This is, it's such a well-placed and tension building jump scare, isn't it? And it's got to be on that list, man. It's so good.
It's playing with safety again, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Even the audience, you're sort of thinking, "Oh, she's not asleep now."
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, she's not asleep. She's still like, "Oh, come on." But like I said, all the other evidence is fine because he's not jump scared there. He's not jump scared here. He's not just jump scared there. Until the very last part where he's just like, "Oh, she's safe. She's fine. She's going to lie down. The boyfriend's there. It's okay." We literally saw him 2 seconds ago on the camera shot. And how they do it, it's well timed. So he must move off and jump in very quickly off camera. And just the way, "I found you." And then she's like, "Ah!" And it's the very famous scene where she lifts up and she gets cut in the air, whatnot. Very iconic scene for a Freddy Krueger movie. But yeah, 100%. I cannot deny this has to be on the list.
I'd completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, really?
That's a really good shout, that one.
It's a good, that one, isn't it? Yeah, that's it, mate. My number 4, over to you. Follow that.
Okay, no, I can actually.
Okay.
I think you'll agree.
Ooh, check you out. The guns are up. Come on, let's go, mate.
It's a Korean movie.
Okay.
I think we watched it here, which I was kind of spoilt, but a spoilt from John.
Wasn't this John on Spoiled?
Yeah, but I still got spoiled.
Oh, you bastard.
Have you got it?
Gonjami?
Gunjami!
Gunjami, the Haunting Asylum. I love this movie, man.
Have you got it on your list?
No, it's not on my list.
Oh, yeah. So it's typical. It's basically, I think, a group of...
it's a found footage movie, isn't it?
Yes.
And people, these YouTubers, I think, and they'll obviously go to a haunted
Spend the
asylum.
night there, earn money, isn't it?
Yeah,
If they get views, they earn money.
I think they were trying to set it up as if it was haunted. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And obviously shit goes wrong. I think there's 2 or 3 that really scared me. And obviously shit goes wrong. I think they split up. And there's obviously I think they've got that typical Blair Witch effect where the camera's
100%,
right
yeah.
And obviously this one of the beginning ones is where like the woman is lost and she's obviously found someone and that person is right in front of her but they're not moving and
it's creeping
and then it's like it's very dim and I think it's all green
it's kind of greyish greenish sort of looking.
It's on like a night vision camera.
Right, yeah.
I think later on the other person has a night which turns on light which but this one was like grey. It's like a typical Blair Witch and she gets closer and closer and you're just like you kind of expect it like she's going to turn around and go but it doesn't. She just turns around, or she goes around, and sees the face, and then you see this woman's face is like she's just stuck in this sort of trance. Her eyes are closed, and all of a sudden, like her eyes open, and she's shit. You know,
John laughed his ass off when that happened, but I shat my pants, man.
Like, whoa, shit!
Yeah.
Like, it was
because you got us round to watch that.
That's right. Yeah.
And
I'd never seen it either.
And I'm not kidding. I have never seen a movie where Ant has been so quiet the whole way through.
Yeah, too right, man. I was shat myself, mate.
So was he. He was hiding behind a fucking pillow at one point, I'm pretty sure.
100%. I'm not denying that whatsoever, man.
That movie was...
But I think the reason why... it got spoilt for me. It was John. And I was expecting... I was like, someone's going to...
I think that's the one time you spoke. You're like, no, shut up.
I was like, shut the fuck up, John.
And she was so creepy the way... That one. And then there was another one where there's the guy... turns on the night vision.
Is this at the end?
This is the middle, just before. Okay. There's the end one as well. I'll just quickly go. The 3 ones that really scared me. And you're like, okay, there's obviously the guys are all like frightened and stuff. I think they're going around, and then obviously switches the night vision on, and it's all green, and he starts crying, sort of thing. And then, so he's got the camera on his, like you see his camera, and then to the side you just see this like like disfigured face, and it's like,
Yeah, it's like
it's all like monk, like it was just like I didn't expect that bit, and I was like, that was pretty good. And the last one, I don't know, I think there's one right at the very end, but this one was really scary. Like I think it's when they're in the top of the building,
when they're in the room, they can't get out of.
Yeah, no, there's the one that there's a disfigured body, and it's just like. It's like walking like...
Oh, yes,
like
that's right, yes.
And then
yes.
it doesn't... Like, she notices...
It's in the room, though. She opens the door, and it's in the far end, isn't
and
it?
she's standing there, and you're like, okay.
Oh, it's like something out of Hellraiser, doesn't it? Yeah.
And then... I think she points a
Silent
light
Hill.
at it.
Or Silent Hill, even, you're right.
It doesn't move, and she's like all crying. It's like, and obviously it keeps cutting back, and eventually just...
And it gets closer every time.
Slowly gets closer.
Oh, man.
But every time it cuts back, it's still...
But
it's such a
creepy
tension builder.
You don't know what it is. It's like, you say a human, or it's just...
It's all twisted, isn't it? Very contorted.
Like Silent Hill-ish sort of...
Mate, that part when they're locked in that room at the end, and they're like looking around, and they see the hands come up from behind their face.
Oh, yeah, that as well. Yeah,
that gives me shivers every time. And then when it touches them, their eyes go black. Oh, my God.
I think it does it too.
You need to spell that fucking thing out for me, because I want to watch that again.
Oh, it's
Punjabi.
I can never remember the fucking name.
Punjabi. I'm joking.
Punjabi.
It's
text it to me anyway after the show.
Yeah, it's
That's a really good show.
Gunjam Haunted
Asylum, yeah.
And it's quite funny because
I think that's actually gone into my top 5 horror movies of all time. That
brilliant.
film.
If you actually say Kunjamani, that means dick in my language. Actually,
Yeah,
that's fun.
because I remember saying that to Big J. It's like, we're watching Germany tonight, and he goes, well, what? Like he thought we were watching a porno or something.
Come round, we'll all sit down together on a couch together and we'll watch
Kunjami. Yeah, but mate, guys, if you're listening and you love your horror films, especially Korean ones,
I know I've spoiled it, but
fucking hell, man! Just
I was super
what
scared.
a movie! I love that film.
That is a very good
I
film,
came out
yeah.
nowhere when I was like, oh, it's going to be alright.
I'd heard about it, and it was like a couple of years old, so I hoped that no one had seen it by then, because it pops. Apparently, it's popped up on Prime a couple of times as well.
Okay.
I've never seen you have that reaction to a movie.
No, man, that got me good, big time.
And that's weird, because you don't believe in, like, spirits.
No,
or
I
anything
don't.
Like that.
But
Is it spirit? Is it
well, no, but like, you know, ghostly.
it's
sort
very
of-
good. Yeah, it's definitely paranormal. Definitely,
That's more your stuff,
That's
isn't it,
me.
G?
Yeah, that's why I was shit scared.
And yet he sat there silent the whole time. Never known you to do that, dude.
that's it, mate. Because I don't know it's coming. That's what I love about it, and I love when movies put me in that
Well, no,
position.
but you knew it was coming the second time when you watched it with us.
Second time,
and you
yes.
still were fucking like, oh, I hate
I
this.
know.
Yeah, like you. And then John's in the background going, guys, you've got to watch what's happening here. This bit's
My dick's getting hard, guys. Watch this bit.
Watch closely, cunts.
Amazing. Good shout. Such a good shout, sir. Well done for that. Dave, number 4, please.
Number 4 is the remake part 1 of It.
Oh, okay. Which
think
part? Which part of the movie, sorry?
So the one that I thought was done really well, and you can see it coming.
Yeah.
It's when they're looking at the video, you know, the old the old reel camera.
Oh, yes, and it spins fast enough to make it
garage.
like a film, isn't it?
And then they're looking at stills, and it starts going faster, and they can't turn it off.
Yeah. In
And
the
it's
garage,
like-
right?
That's the garage scene, yeah.
And it's on the garage door, isn't it, or projected, a projector anyway. And it's all the old, you know, still images, and then you start seeing Pennywise, don't you?
Yeah.
In the images, and it's sort of like a stop motion, so that's quite creepy movement anyway. And you're like, oh, yeah, something's going to happen, but it is. It's a really good build up, that bit.
Yeah,
because they're
100%.
starting to panic because they know something's about to
Because they
happen.
find his location, don't they, before shit starts to happen, don't they? That's why, yeah.
And then you start seeing him moving, and he's on the screen moving, and then suddenly, even though you know it's coming, suddenly he just bursts out of the screen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like into
because they knock the thing over, don't they? So
And
they
it's
see
still-
another image of it, and then all of a sudden he pops
Yeah.
out, doesn't he?
And-
Yeah.
and
Does he
he's-
pop out of the wall?
he pops
Yeah.
out of the screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
right,
out of
yeah.
the projection, so
Yeah.
he literally pops out, and he's got ridiculous amount of CGI like piranha teeth. in his mouth.
Yeah, a shit amount of teeth, isn't he? Yeah.
And his eyes are pointed the wrong way. It's just a really good, like, even though you see it's coming, you know something's about to come,
But you have no idea.
but then it kind of works. So I was trying to think why that one was a good one.
Yeah.
It kind of works in the opposite because you know it's coming. You're already psyching yourself up for something to happen.
How it comes.
and then it's how it's coming because they're like trying to stop it.
Yes.
And it won't stop, will it? So because they don't want to see him in there, and he's moving, it's still flickering, it's still getting faster, and then they're trying to stop it, and it won't stop, and then suddenly he just bursts out. And there's also something very creepy about that. You know, it touches a little bit on the found footage thing we were talking about with the haunted asylum one.
Yeah.
the Dick
Punjabi.
the Dick
Punjabi.
yeah Dick Asylum. It's that found sort of footage,
Dick
photographs. You know,
Dick Haunted Asylum.
Haunted Dick Asylum.
you know, it's that sort of footage. There's just something inherently creepy about it. You know, the Blair Witch effect, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that part because, like you said, they knock the thing over.
Yeah.
And when they knock it over, the slide that is still projected is next to another one of those kids, and they're like freaking out
Yeah.
because it's next to him. And when it goes black, and the next minute, this huge fucking Pennywise just pops out of nowhere. It's just,
and it's like
never saw that coming. That was
really
ridiculous.
CGI'd as well. And he's got like a huge
I love
distorted
part one.
mouth.
Part 1 was amazing.
Yeah, part 1. Was
I'm very
really
surprised you picked part 1. I thought you were going to go with your favourite moment in part 2.
good. Which is
The old granny. Where she walks down naked. In
it didn't scare me. It made me laugh. That one. That
I
is-
know you love that
I
moment.
love the
love that
different
bit, yeah.
interpretations of Pennywise as different characters, like that one.
Yeah.
And I think we spoke about it before. I love the library scene in the part 1. It's still
Oh, with
creepy.
the creepy librarian
Yeah.
washing him, yeah.
And it's the ones that like. I don't know if it's a jump scare, but it's one of those ones that freak you out. It's only, I think you talked about a scene that is there, but when you notice it, you're like, oh. So it's that sort of moment. Like you won't see it, but if you actually have a look at the old lady, she's staring at him throughout the whole time.
It's
And
creepy,
that
yeah.
creeps the shit out of me.
But it all works towards making the good jump scares. Like I said, I wanted to put this one in because it's a little bit opposite of what I was talking about earlier, where you don't expect it.
Yeah.
Because you sort of see it coming, but it still got me in that even though I sort of knew something was about to happen,
Right.
I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And I was, then you're always almost sort of thinking maybe they'll knock it over and stop it, and it'll, it's like faking,
Or they'll pull the
and
screen
then,
down or something,
and then it'll be okay. But you sort of know, you work yourself up. Some of the best jump scares are because you know it's coming, so
Yeah.
you start psyching yourself up for it, and it still gets you.
Because you just don't know how.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and it's done good.
Good
So,
shout.
I love Pennywise. So.
Yeah. That's a good movie. Like I said, part 1 is really good, man.
I just like the look of him in that. I know it's really CGI'd, and I'm usually against that, but the way his eyes are fucking pointing in the wrong directions.
No, he can do that. That's not.
No, but in that he's CGI'd because he's a big fucking head with.
Oh, you're
loads
talking
of
about that
spiked
bit.
teeth,
Sorry, yeah. I thought
Yeah.
in the part when he moves his eye on one side,
Oh,
he can
yeah.
actually do that for real.
No,
that guy,
but
yeah.
that is. I just love it. It's good.
Yeah, good shout. Anything else on that? If not, we'll go to number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3.
My number 3 is going to be The Exorcist 3. Not the movie itself. I mean, a lot of people prefer the original. I quite like number 3 because number 3 is different to the original. But there is one specific...
John is going to be getting hard
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
going to... It's The Exorcist. Oh, my fucking God. Even though he's probably never watched 3. But anyway... Exorcist 3 is very different because it's more of a detective story than it is more about faith, like the first one was. And that's why I kind of like the tone of it differently. It's all about trying to find a killer that could be possessed by a demon that was possessed from the first movie. But there was one specific thing. So the majority of this movie takes place in a hospital. And it's all about detective trying to find a killer, like I said. And there's a moment when he thinks that the killer could possibly be in the hospital. He can't seem to find him, whatnot, so he goes home for the night, whatever. And there's this long segment. It's all in one take. It must be 4, maybe 5 minutes long, the longest maybe, where it's just following this nurse doing her nightly, routines and at work or whatnot. She's going in rooms, she's feeding people, whatnot, but the camera stays in just this hallway. It doesn't go anywhere else. So she's going from room to room, doing this, giving people medication, whatnot, and you're just thinking, what's going on here? Something's got to happen or something. And like I said, it carries on. So you're thinking it's got to cut to the next scene.
Is this like what I was saying? You're almost you're building up your own sort of tension.
but I think it goes on for a while. I personally don't, because I thought it would. Because if you ever watched the first one or remember the first one, there are parts in that where it's a long cut and then it just cuts. That's what you get the feeling with this shot. And I thought it was just going to cut.
Okay, yeah.
And there's one part where the nurse at the very end walks from one room to her reception desk, whatnot, and literally out of nowhere, it's this massive killer with these fucking great big massive scissors or garden sieves, whatever they are. I don't know what they are, but they're big enough to they're big enough to decap a person's head clean off. Shears, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry. And it just comes out of nowhere, and it is fantastic. It is well built, and it is a very where did that come from sort of jump scare, If you ever watch it, you'll understand why. Again, it's very hard to describe it without spoiling it too much for you. But that one jump scare I never saw coming. My mate, I heard of this jump scare, but never knew where it was in the film. My mate Tim highly recommended this film. I had never seen it for such a long time, so I couldn't even remember when it happened. But then when I got to see it, it scared the shit out of me. Just the way it happens, and he's in like just like a white sheet over him, so you can't really even see what the killer is. It's just literally this white image with massive shears and blood dripping off of him, sort of thing. Just, and that's it. You don't even see the kill happen, but just that image of this fucking guy coming right behind this woman from out of nowhere, like Randy Orton. So, but hell, man, I have to show it to you afterwards, and you'll see what I'm saying. But fuck me, just damn. That is a jump scare, I'm telling you now.
There is a special place.
How long is that build up though? Is that a 5 minute?
It's long, yeah. It's good for maybe 5 minutes, if that.
But there's a special place in jump scare, like Hall of Fame for killer jump scares, isn't there? Mm-hmm. For like the moment someone gets whacked, like Ad was saying, from nowhere.
From out of famous nowhere. One from Halloween.
Yeah. Where they just suddenly get and it's the build up and you sort of don't know, and then suddenly the killer appears and.
But I think that's done too, like loads of times though. Like, as in,
it has been done a lot.
Slasher horrors.
Yeah. But
when you experience the first time, that does kind of creep you out.
But also when you don't see it coming as well. When they surprise
absolutely,
you.
man, ridiculous. They cut the scene short on YouTube, so you have to go through the full 5 minutes. It's fine. Okay. But yeah, I'll show it to you, man. Yeah. Super good, and I don't think anyone. I would. That's a movie again. I would love to see people's reaction to. When you show it to him, watch him. Yeah. Very short but sweet. Again, I can't explain it very well without you actually watching it and actually get the full extent of it. My number 3, Exorcist 3.
Oh, okay.
Big gal, number 3.
My number 3 is one of my favourite horror films. I would say
The Two Towers
of all time, and it's The Conjuring.
Oh, okay.
Really,
I never knew it was one of your favourites.
Yeah, I really love this film.
The first one?
The first one, yeah.
Okay.
Especially the first one. And
is it the...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's more. I think Conjuring developed, like, good, like, demonic characters, and there's a lot
of good tension-building stuff in that movie, man.
So I think, again, like, you know me, I hate paranormal or demonic and stuff. This one stuck to me the most. It's quite simple. It's the kids, obviously the family, everyone knows the story, but quick story, the families move into this house and shit's gone wrong in there and shit starts going wrong for the family. And obviously there's three of the kids, I think, and the mum are alone at home and they're playing, I can't remember the name of the game. Is it Clap and Go Hide? I think it's
it's kind of like a...
It must be an American game.
Yeah, it's like a early Marco Polo thing. So is that without saying Marco... They go without saying Polo. Sorry, they clap, don't they?
Straight away, you're like, alarm bells ringing. Oh, this is not going to go right. But anyway, it's mum's turn, and she's blindfolded, and obviously the kid's like, and then obviously she goes for a round. I think eventually she goes into
the basement.
At the end, but in the before that is where you see a hand come out of the cupboard.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
And you're like, okay, and then she goes, and you're like. For some reason, I think she knows something's there, but she goes and
still looks, doesn't she?
But you actually see the hand come out, and you're like, "Is it the kids or is it?" But you know something's not right.
Yeah.
And then she takes the blindfold, and she's like, "What? No one's here," sort of thing. And then eventually it keeps carrying on, and obviously eventually it leads her down the basement. I think she falls down, and
no, she goes in, but the door shuts on her, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think the light turns on downstairs.
No, it's completely off because she gets matches, doesn't she?
No, that's at the end. So she goes all the way down, and the basketball comes out.
Oh, sorry, big pardon. Yeah.
Boom, boom, and then that's when she gets creeped out.
Yeah.
And then she runs all the way back up, and then lights turn off. And then, and you're like, okay, what the fuck's going on? And then the only thing she's got is a lighter. So she's like...
Matches, isn't it?
And she's trying to figure out, what the fuck's down there, or where is this clapping come out? And all of a sudden, right beside her face, a hand comes out and goes... Yeah, and she just disappears, and I think and you're like, oh shit! I shut myself. The thing is, I knew some bollocks was going to happen, but that bollocks fucking got me. And I
hate when it gives you that. This is the light source, but you can't make out what's there, and it really aggravates me because I'm like, is that something there?
Yeah, and I didn't expect the hand to come out, and that's part of the beauty of it because you're literally like, someone's going to come up the stairs or something, but the hand was like.
And it really bugged me because when they released the Blu-ray of that, right, the poster was literally of her doing that with the hands beside her like that. So it's like the giveaway, isn't it? I was really pissed off with that.
I think throughout the whole film, there's like amazing bits. I think it has the origin story of Annabelle in that.
Yes, because there was an edition where if you bought a Blu-ray, you can get an Annabelle doll with it.
Oh shit! Yeah, I don't want that.
100%.
But that again, it's not jump scare, but there's a beauty to that. That scariness of that. The doll is obsessed with you and he wants to come play with you, even though you throw. I know I'm going off a tangent, but there were so many elements in that film I loved.
Oh mate, there's literally one thing. I think it's in the beginning when they first move in and the girls are playing in the room or something, and they think they see something. There's this really dark patch corner in their bedroom, and the girls are sharing the room, aren't they? So one goes there, she can't see anything, and they can smell something really bad, like one of your farts or something. I don't know, but they go in there, and then the little girl can see something, but the other girl's turned her back on it. And she goes, Nancy, it's right behind you. And it's just, I love stuff like that.
They don't show it though, right?
They never see it. No, you never see it. But then there's that part where the mum is playing the game again, isn't it, or something? And then she sees something on top of the cupboard and it jumps on her.
Yes, that's after.
That's a good jump scare as well, that part. That freaked me out as well.
That is good. That movie is very good for jump scares, isn't it?
Yeah,
100%. That's kind of it.
James Wan at his best, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And like I said, I think it spawned like two spin-offs, like Annabelle.
Yeah.
And I think in part 2 you get The Nun as well, and that itself is quite fun.
Yeah, there's like it's all part of the same universe, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant film. I urge anyone to go see it.
Was The Nun in the first one?
I think it's the second one. I'm sure it's the second one. They go to UK, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. That's the second one. Yeah, you're right.
I could
Why
be
did
wrong.
you say UK like you didn't know that was actually a place?
No, as in I wasn't.
Don't they go to a place called the UK?
No, as in like the part. I don't know if it was in part 2 or part 1.
Yeah, part 2 is the UK one. Yeah,
you live in the UK, dude. It is a real country.
To a certain extent. Anyway, number 3, Dave. Number 3.
Okay, so my number 3 is
Take
The
us back.
Woman in Black.
Oh, with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes.
Harry Potter.
Have you seen this movie?
Yes, I love this
It's
film.
a fucking...
This is based on the play, right?
It is based on the play, and I would love to talk about the play because there are some bits in that that make you fucking jump.
What, the lady, what's it called?
Woman in Black.
Woman in Black. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's a famous play, and the way it's done as a play is fucking terrifying. You don't think you could be terrified in a theatre, but there are so many good
Not until you see this.
little tricks that they've done, stagecraft, physical things that have made it, and just like having like the woman appear in the audience and things like that. It's just fucking... Anyway, I'm going off topic. So the remake I actually really like with Daniel Radcliffe in, or the adaptation to film is really good. And there's one bit in this that just creeps me out, and I kind of know what it is, the jump scare. But I can't explain why it creeps me out. Yeah, I can't explain why it creeps me out. So this is a very good mood horror. So it's it's lots of like misty sort of marshland,
setting the tone and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and sort of drab colours, and you've got this house
Almost like a mystery to it, isn't it?
So it's like this old house is out in Eel Marsh, and it's cut off the causeway, you can't drive down, and basically it's a ghost story. So the woman in black is a ghost, and it's all linked to a drowning that happened, of a cart going off and getting stuck as the sea coming in the marshes kind of thing. And there's some really good horror moments in there. There's also some really cheap jump scares that got me in this. There's one bit right at the beginning where Daniel Radcliffe is walking through like the house, and it's all decrepit and ruined, and a fucking bird flies out of the chimney. And it's so quiet, and I knew something was going to happen, but then a bird just goes, comes out of the fucking chimney, and I knew it was coming. It still made me jump a bit, and it was annoying that it made me jump because that's a cheap one. But towards the end, when shit is kicking off, he's upstairs. There's a room with like loads of creepy ass fucking kid toys in there, isn't there? Do you remember? Really old.
That's in the attic, isn't it?
Yeah, like really old kids' toys. And he's going in with a candle at one point, and everything starts going off. Like the toys start moving, and you're like, oh fuck, this is the candle blows out. It's all like horror.
Signs are there. I hate that.
It's the sides are there. You know something's coming, and then all of a sudden you just see this woman's shape drop down from the ceiling, hanging and breaking its neck, hanging themselves, and it's like bam, but then this doubles down because a little bit later, he's in a room, and then you look to the corner and you see her in shadow for like, and she just comes suddenly. The shot sort of pans to the room, and you see her in the corner of the room, and she suddenly just goes. And comes straight at you. And I don't know how they filmed it, because they must have had her on like some sort of running board or something.
Right, okay.
Because she just goes straight forward, and it's not. It doesn't appear CGI'd.
Okay.
But it's that movement.
It's like she's been pulled.
Yeah, it's like she's on like a track. It just
Okay.
comes straight at you with the scream right up against the camera, and that made me fucking jump. That
really?
day. Yeah. Have you not seen it?
I've seen it, but a long time ago. He dies at the end, doesn't he, Radcliffe?
Spoilers.
Yeah, but we spoilers. He's like a wagon falls on him or something at the end. I can't remember now.
There's a woman in black too. I can't remember where he.
I don't think he dies.
I don't think he does.
Oh, I can't remember.
There's a woman in black too, I think. But I don't know whether that had done.
I haven't seen that. He's like, no.
But anyway, that one bit. Literally, when I was thinking about this, I remember that straight away, because it's just a creepy. It's a jump scare, and it's a just seeing her in the corner in the shadows could have been the jump scare, but no, she comes whizzing right out at you, and it's that sort of fluid, unhuman movement that just makes you jump.
I thought you were going to say the fingerprint as well. That got me.
Go on, do that bit.
So I think I don't know if it's whereabouts in the scene is. I think it's raining outside, and I think he's still exploring the rooms or something. And he looks to the window, and he can faintly make out like someone's touched the. You know when you see him finger marks on windows, he kind of sees that, and what does he do? Obviously, he tries to put his hand. So he goes close to it, and as soon as he touches,
did he not learn from the Dementors?
Yeah, like an arsehole. And then all of a sudden, like right beside the hand in his hand, you see a reflection of a woman. It's just literally like quick, like boom.
Yeah,
and that gets you as well. That got
it's a classic.
Isn't there a part at the end like she screams right at the camera or something?
That's the one he was talking about.
Yeah, she comes
that is
right up at it, and then screams at
right at the very end. That isn't it?
Yeah. It's very old. It's like I think the stage play's been around for years.
Good film though.
So it is like an originator of that sort of style of horror. Horror telling. Tale telling. And it does rely on that sort of suspense jump scare.
Is it true to the play, the show? The movie, sorry.
Yeah, it is quite true, yeah. But obviously the play is a different beast because it's all done with physical, effects. So
yeah, of course.
And the people who've done that, I watched it when I went on a school trip to it. And it was really funny because even the hard kids who were like, "Oh, I don't want to go see a fucking play," they were jumping.
What for this?
Yeah, as a play.
The play. Okay, yeah.
Because there's loads of really clever techniques that they've done that because when they black out a theatre and you've got like a single spotlight on, or they know it goes dark and it's pitch black, and then she screams and they play it through the fucking speaker, so it's all around your room. It sounds like it's right behind you, and the spotlight, one pin spotlight, just illuminates the actress's face on stage, because she's obviously knows where to come on in the darkness, stands in the perfect spot, and it just flashes up on. It really gets you. Or suddenly it flashes the spotlight's pointing at the crowd, and she's halfway up an aisle, and no one's noticed her fucking walking up because they're so enthralled on what's going on in front of them. It's a very different beast, and it's quite a good. I'd recommend going and see it if you want to experience
true.
If you want to sort of like put yourself more involved in it, because you haven't got that separation between you and the screen.
I've never experienced that. It's quite interesting.
Yeah,
as in like I've been to a play.
It's a bit like when we were watching that Dick Asylum movie. I remember you jumped at one point because Anne had like a little. You've got like a little plug in there, Mister, or something.
Oh yeah, and it goes.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
So you've got like a plug, and it every
little,
half an hour,
yes.
it just goes like
the air freshener.
It goes like a little. Like,
I jumped out my seat.
He was sitting in the thing next to it, and it was a really quiet, tense moment in the film, and I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I heard it go, and he jumped out of his skin. Because it gets you, and I've been got before by my wife. My wife, even though she doesn't fucking try, she has the stealth of like a ninja,
and you have to give it back to them as well.
I can't. She moves. She'll be really noisy upstairs, and I think I'd definitely hear her coming downstairs because I like to watch horror on my own. She's not a horror fan, And, I'll hear the floorboards clonking upstairs, and there's clonking floorboards on the staircase. So I'm like, she's moving around up there, but she's not coming down. And next thing I know, she's fucking in the dark.
Oh, man.
Because we've got like a little lounge that goes into like what would be a dining room through an arch.
Right.
And it's all pitch black down that end because I've got the lights off, and I just suddenly see a fucking figure out the side of my eye.
That's the worst ones, when you think you're alone in the room, so you're in the shower.
We're now even moving into real life fucking jump scares. My wife can stealth up on anyone.
I get it back because I have patience. Sorry, I know we're going off a tangent, but we've got a living room, and you can see the chairs, and she's always sitting in a specific spot. So if I come in after work, I have literally wait like 5-10 minutes. Just like this, just waiting for it to turn around, and she shits herself every single time.
Right, okay, so you two guys have got kids, right?
Yeah.
Have your kids ever jump scared you?
100%, yeah.
Kids can do it as well. Right? The amount of times you'll be like in bed, right, and the doors are ajar but not shut or something, and then suddenly like you're like drifting off to sleep and you haven't heard anything, and then suddenly you're like 5-year-old, 4-year-old is standing beside your bed, and they just go, "Daddy." Like, oh,
yeah.
My heart.
My eldest daughter knows me too well, because what I call this the paranormal activity effect, where because my side of the bed goes straight. If I look at the doors there, and she just stands there in the middle of the night and just stands there in that doorway because the lights come at me. I can't see her face or anything. I shit myself so much.
Man.
I'm like, "Are you all right, Bubba?" And she's like, "Yeah." Thank fuck for that. Next minute I'm worried she's got a knife in her hand or something. Jesus Christ.
You ever had them sleepwalk as well? That's terrifying.
Yes, mate, big time.
They're not even awake.
Especially when you wake them up and they're like screaming their head out. Oh, mate, nasty.
Oh, shit.
You got another kid on the way. What happened with this one?
They've just got into the thing where I watch the scary movie, and I'm like, throughout it, I'm like enjoying that.
And you're like, I got you. And then later on she gets you.
The thing is, though, right, this is going to be really relatable because there'll be listeners who've got kids listening, and they will be sitting there listening. They'll be like, "I know what these guys are fucking talking about."
Exactly, yeah.
Oh. Anyway, so where was I? 3
Black Swan.
Yes.
I mean,
Black Swan.
Woman in Black.
Woman in Black.
Nice, good shout. Let's go to number 2s.
Number 2.
My number 2 is a jump scare from my favourite horror movie of all time. My number 1 horror movie, Alien, the first movie. I call this jump scare the reach out. Does anyone know what I mean when I say that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Is that iconic?
No, the reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
No.
Is
So
it
if
with
anyone,
the cat?
Huh?
Is it with the cat?
No, not with the cat. So there's a specific. If anyone knows what the movie doesn't know what the movie's about, it's about
they have not fucking listened to us on
exactly.
This
They have not listened. But very quickly, it's about a bunch of crew people that are on a ship stuck with an alien, and there's a specific scene where the captain of the ship has to use the tunnels to try and hunt this thing and find it with the events. Beg pardon, with a flamethrower to try and scare it off or kill it, whatever they can do just to get away from it.
Oh no, I can't.
This scene alone, without the jump scare, it just terrifies me. I cannot watch this scene on my own in the dark. It's a horrifying scene, and just with like they used like a motion tracker, like a sensor thing, and it's literally got like just this little dot that indicates that that's the captain in there, and it's all. There's nothing else there. There's nothing else moving because there's no other dots. So he's looking around and he finds like trails of slime and whatnot. And he's got other people on there going, "Oh, it's in there with you."
Basically,
I swear I saw it. And then all of a sudden, this little boop, 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 is coming. This other little dot in the corner of that screen is coming towards this captain's dot in the middle of the screen. And it's chilling because he's like looking around. He's in the dark. There's all these other little doors that seal behind him. And he's like, she's like, going, get out of there, whatnot. And he goes, I'll shoot some flames this end, I'll shoot some flames the other end, nothing's there. And all of a sudden it just goes. And she's smacking the sensor, isn't she? She kind of, where's this dot gone? It's, I swear it was there. It's got to be around there somewhere. And all of a sudden the dot comes back again. And it's coming and he's going. And then this is the part where the captain's had enough. He's like, I'm going to get the hell out of it. He's like, I'm getting out of it. And she goes, no, okay. So he goes down a ladder to go down to the next floor. She goes, "Move, get out of there. It's got to be, no, it's right there." And what he does is, Ridley Scott timed this so well. There's a part where the tunnel is essentially, you're looking down the tunnel as the shot. So in the middle of it is the ladder. He comes down the ladder. He shines right at the camera as if that's the tunnel, one end of the tunnel, to see if nothing's there. And literally as he turns the other way, no, it's right there. And this creature reaches out for him like that. And it just cuts like that, like the sound in the microphone to like sort of cut. And she's like, no. And then I never saw that coming because I remember seeing this as a kid for the first time. The quality isn't as good as we have of movies nowadays. Yes, yeah. So everything was very dark, picture quality is not as great. So you can't actually see what's behind him. Like, as far as you're concerned, it's just a tunnel there. But when you watch like the 4K stuff and whatnot, and the lighting on that is very clear, you can clearly see there's something in there. So the effect of it nowadays isn't as scary. But back then, never saw that coming. And just how it reaches out and like a human, if you will, to like, your mind sort of thing. And that scream, that, you know, it's like you, Dave, you were saying about certain moments in video games. It's like, I love... Obviously, you know, I love Alien Isolation. In that game, I never go in an air vent because of that scene in that movie. I will shit myself. If I see that fucking xenomorph crawling towards me, no.
Fuck that shit.
Done. Out
Under
of it.
tables
so
for me.
technically, what Ant's saying, if he has to save his life in this room and something is an air vent, he's not going in there.
No chance.
Period.
No chance.
But going
I'm
back
staying
to
here getting killed.
In Alien Isolation, sorry, I know I'm going off this tangent. There's a point where you think you're safe in the air vents. Like, seriously, I was playing I think we talk about it in one of the episodes. Fuck me, you're not. And it fucking comes after you in the...
you think you're safe.
Yeah, because it lets you do it. It lets you do it, and it's so smart. And eventually figures out that you're going through that, and it fucking can't. And it shit. I've never felt safe in a game after that.
Yeah,
because it kind of builds your trust. You're like, I can get away with it. You know, I've got the air vents and fucking.
And it learns, doesn't it? It's crazy how it does it.
Fucking clever.
But that scene, it's just like I said, it's one of my scariest scenes in that movie ever, and just how. A dot reaching towards another dot can build so much tension and just be like, shit, that thing's coming for you, and not having to show you that's coming for you either.
It's like the scary version.
The imagination, isn't it? Yeah. So
even the air vent, it's like is it claustrophobic? Like
absolutely.
Oh man, I'm thinking about it. I get fucking.
So both of you, if you're stuck in a room, and you ain't getting out through the air vent.
I mean, if I can see a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe.
No, it's a corner.
If someone's before me, maybe, but not on my own. And that captain does that shit on his own. Fuck that.
If it's like a mace that goes down,
me and Ant have been like crippled by
the
monsters, and we're like, gee, get up, unlock the door from the other side. And
I'll use you guys as bait.
No, because you're trapped in the room with us. The only escape you got to get out the locked door is go for an air vent.
Oh,
would you do it?
Like escape room?
Yeah.
I'll probably just die, man. Fuck it.
Just sit down next to us and maybe take a shit or something.
That's it.
Do go out as you lived.
Yeah. Take a turn.
Had one of my shits with it. But yeah, the reach out jump scare in Alien, I cannot deny, is I think apart from like when the facehugger jumps out, that's the only two proper jump. There's one with the facehugger jumps down as well.
What about the chest burster?
Well, you see that coming, don't you?
You kind of see it coming
jump.
Away,
not if you're watching.
Maybe the first spurt.
Like the first ever time, like something's coming out of him. Like for me,
but I think that's more of a scary scene moment, than a jump scare. But that jump scare alone, the reach out, 100%, terrifying.
Reach out and touch.
That's my number 2. Biggest Jizz. What's your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2. I'm a bit sad because I wanted to talk about another film, one I've taken out of my list completely.
But we can talk about the honorable mentions. It's fine.
It doesn't matter. So my number 2 is Insidious.
This is my number 2 as well.
Okay, so what is your jump scare from that movie?
It's going to be the same as me.
Is it the red face?
Oh no! Oh, hang on, I've got confused. I haven't got this one. You go ahead.
This one. Okay.
So Insidious isn't your number 2?
No, I was thinking about this, but I didn't put it.
You didn't put it in, right? Sorry, right. So back to you, G.
Insidious.
Sorry, my bad.
I think it's still on par with Conjuring, and I remember going to watch one of the kiddie. I think maybe Shrek. I can't remember. And me and my friend who passed away lately, me and him sneaked into it, and from the get go. I'm
sorry, you've gone from Shrek to Insidious.
I can't remember what film. It was like a
kids film, regardless.
I can't remember what we were doing. But anyway, And we sneaked into this film, and we're like, yeah, we got this free, like, yeah. And the moment it started, like, the music, I can't remember. It's like this, the weird orchestra, the weird sort of like old school, like, yeah. And from there, we were like, oh, that sort of excitement that we sneaked in went, and we're literally like, fuck, we're gonna get scared. And anyway, everyone knows Insidious. It's a brilliant film. And one of my favourite scenes is, I think, it's been a long time I've seen it. I think some things, I think you can go out of your dream while you're sleeping, and then I think the kid or the dad's got this ability.
When you go to that foggy area, isn't it, sort of thing?
So there were mind travels, and then the dad can do it, the son can do it, I think. And I think essentially something's come back with them. I can't remember the storyline.
So is this something to do the dad was haunted as a kid by this elderly woman, and the only way to defeat it was to go into this dream world thing, whatever it is, and confront her, wasn't it, or something like that?
But the kid,
was she called Freddy Krueger?
Brings back something as well. But it's I think this entity it doesn't get talked about after the previous film until the recent film apparently, which I haven't seen.
Well, it comes up in number 2. Number 2 follows us on I quite like
and it's basically one of my favorite bits is I think this woman, the lady mum, is trying to describe what's happened. Describe something of what's happening with the kid, and it's
so she's explaining about how her son or the dad, how he was affected by this woman or this entity that's been trying to pester him as a kid.
There's 3 of them in the kitchen, and she's trying to explain to this other woman, and there's. Because it does it so brilliantly, because she's doing the talking, and then there's a shot of the son in coma or something like that. Yeah. And you see this dark figure with like this claws just almost pointing at the sun. And
that freaks me out, yeah.
And you think, at that point, you're like, okay, the scare's done. Okay.
He's kind of like he's guarding the kid, isn't he, if you will?
Almost, he's something like that. And you think that's it. And the way you don't see nothing, you don't see his face, just a black silhouette,
black figure, isn't it?
Like creepy, like
fingers,
clawsy thing. And then I can't remember the sound effect. Was it like any like?
It's like a cracking of bones.
Was there a sound effect for the reveal when he's just standing next to it? No, it's
just a jump. Something.
So and then they carry on talking, and then as she's still trying to explain it, that I can't remember what exactly saying.
She's just saying she's just explaining the story about her son and what this thing is and whatnot. And the next minute it's just there, isn't it?
Because it cuts back and forth, and then after the person is speaking, it goes back to the woman that's listening, and right behind her you see this red face. I can't. It's almost
it's very like half the face, isn't it? If you will, but it's such a quick shot.
Very like Maul.
Very Darth Maul, but
yeah. And that got me, man. I was like, whoa.
Because you didn't expect it in that scene, because it's storytelling. It's giving an origin story of the movie, and then you don't usually get jump scares in a scene like that. And the next minute, it's just there, like, whoa.
I thought the jump scare was gone because of that figure.
Yeah.
And it was a backup jump scare, almost like, fucking got you
so
again.
No, it wasn't the first bit's not really a jump scare, but it's a creepy ass moment.
Creepy ass moment, and then that just gets you after.
And it just like, I've got something else here for you. Boom.
I'll tell you what I'll go on, Karen.
And there's another one which you mentioned was a brilliant one I forgot about earlier.
Oh, the crib room.
The crib room, that was brilliant. It's basically something happens, the father goes downstairs and the mother can hear some sound or something, and the camera follows the mum. She's going to check on the boy, and then as she's following him, and then just quick shot of the baby sleeping in the curtain, you just see this figure behind the curtains. And it's just like,
it's there for a second, so you don't really notice it until the music goes boom, and then there's there's something there.
Because you could easily miss it, and then it's like a boom, and you're like, what's going on? Oh shit! Yeah, that was brilliant.
I remember my sister watched this with me once, and there's a scene where the mum, they've moved house, haven't they? And the mum's just doing laundry, and you hear the tiptoe through the tubes. But then, if you notice, before that music comes on, she walks past the child like 3 times. Like he's standing in one corner facing the wall, then he's standing somewhere else facing the wall. And then when she goes back and the music's playing, he's dancing around to...
Oh, yeah.
But just the fact that if you ever go back and watch it, he's there 1 minute, then he's there, and then he's there. Yeah. Then she goes back and does more laundry, and that's when the music kicks in. I love how... You're always... Especially when number 2 came out, I was always looking for something to see if I'm
I
missing
watch that,
something. It's so great how James Wan timed and planned certain shots. It's really good.
And also with the, I think there's like where he goes through pictures of this like woman, like obviously the old lady that's creeping him out, that's following him.
Oh, mate.
And she's in every picture, and then that
She is literally the character from Dead Silence, isn't she?
Yeah,
She looks just like her, but older.
And that flick through of the album, and she's always getting closer to him. And,
Yeah.
oh man, I get goosebumps. And at the end as well, where the big reveal where it's here, like she gets
him at the end, doesn't she? Yeah,
that's really good as well. Brilliant film.
I'll tell you what, with that movie, I was working in Cineworld at that point.
Was you?
For the brief half a year that I did. And I've never seen any cinema that's
It's
terrified.
from the get-go, you know.
Because you know that you have to walk in along, you have to walk in and check no one's filming.
Sure.
So I walked halfway up the entrance thing. So I was about head height, and I could see there was this, like sort of late teenage girl, like 18 or something, sitting at about head height. Her feet were about head height, and right by the side, and she had her coat over her head. She had knees were up, Right. She was completely cocooned up, absolutely shaking with terror.
Wow.
And I was thinking I could cause a heart attack here because I just really had a temptation to reach through the bar and just touch her leg.
Touch her, that'd be so fucking
I would
awesome.
have killed that girl. She was fucking terrified. and the whole screen was like that. I've never known any movie to get such a fear reaction from a whole audience.
Honestly, I'm not kidding you. From the beginning, like, when you watch a horror film, you're like, oh, yeah. But as soon as you hear the soundtrack for it, and you're just like, those sounds of those instrument, I can't remember what it is. I was like, shit, this is gonna really be good. As in, I'm gonna shit myself. But I don't know what it is. It's just set the tone from the music, and it wasn't even like a jump scare. It's the music that got me straight away, and I was just like, oh fuck. And me and my mate was just like, we fucked up. Like, should have went to watch something else.
We picked the wrong movie.
But brilliant.
Good shout, sir. Nice. So what is your number 2?
My
Dave?
real number 2.
Your real number 2, yeah.
Because I was going to put that on, and I took it off
Okay.
because I remembered the movie Sinister.
Yes,
That's
with
good.
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's all about a haunt. It's another sort
He's
of
a writer
entity.
or some
He's
sort,
a
isn't he?
writer who's trying to he's like a crime writer.
That's it.
And he
like a true crime writer, isn't
so
he? Yeah.
He's having a slump, and he goes to the house. He buys the house where some family was murdered,
That's right.
and it all sort of revolves around. He finds these tapes, and the particular jump scare that got me, and like people I've spoken to have watched it, it seems to have got them. And it's a really good jump scare. It's because he's watching.
Yeah.
He starts watching these videotapes that he's found. These old real
Left
tapes.
in the house or something.
Yeah,
isn't
left
he?
in the attic. He finds
Sad.
them, and later on in the story, it's all about how the creature or spirit sort of haunts the tape. So if you watch them, you then you're the next family that gets killed, kind of thing. Spoilers. So he starts watching this video, and it's this handy cam sort of footage, isn't it? It's sort of like a little bit.
Is it like a reel?
Yeah, but it's like a little bit crackly on the
Yeah.
screen, there's like little spots appearing and things, and it starts off and it's like someone's watching a family through their like lounge window at night. So you see a little girl running around, mum and dad, they sit down on the sofa.
That's creepy. Yeah.
And it's creepy already because someone's watching. They're in their safe, they're in their castle of their home, happy family. And then you see the person that whoever's holding the camera is walking round. They open like the garden gate kind of thing, and they, it cuts. And then they're walking round, and the camera's like pointing at the floor, and there's just like a very small torch beam, sort of showing the floor, and it goes up to a lawnmower, and you're like, okay, where's this going? Like obviously in the garden, there's this lawnmower. Shows you them starting it. You don't see who's holding.
Who's holding? Yeah.
See, it shows you this starting the lawnmower, and there's this music playing the whole time as well. And it's like as the camera's going, kind of thing. And then literally you have, I don't know how long it is, but it feels like a long time, but it's probably only about 40 seconds or minutes worth of him. The camera is just filming from the person holding and pushing this lawnmower in the dark across a lawn, and shining a torch. So it's just literally like grass, lawnmower.
They're literally cutting grass, yeah.
Cutting grass, going along really close up. That's all you see, the lawnmower. and this little torch beam in the middle of the dark, and you're like, what is it? How is this linked? And then suddenly, fucking the mum tied up on the floor, lawnmower straight over.
And it does a sort of sound, doesn't it?
Literally, out of the darkness, suddenly it's grass. Boom, person. Oh my God, that was so
that
good.
shit me right up seeing that.
That
for the
was
first time.
such a good. You need to watch that movie.
No,
It's
I've
so
seen
good,
it.
Never saw it coming.
Doesn't he film them sleeping as well? Like in the house?
There's other videos.
There's other videos, but this one particular has that jump
yeah,
scare.
because it's like a chain. So there's another one where you see them all, like sleeping, and then next thing you see them all tied to pool chairs,
and eventually
then they get kicked into the
into the pool and drown, isn't it?
Drown kind of thing. So there's all different, and there's someone in a car who then gets torched in the car. There's loads of different videos, but it's this particular video or home movie that you see with that lawnmower, because you're just like, where's this going?
Yeah.
And just suddenly out of nowhere,
I remember seeing that. It was just, what? It's like, it really got me as well.
it really does get you.
Because you get to a point, like you said, it's a very slow burner from there, and you're like, where's this going? What's it doing? Oh, shit!
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They've just been run over by a fucking lawnmower,
Yeah.
tied up on the floor, and you see the face of her for like a second, and she's
That's it.
panicked and all tied up and gagged and stuff, and you're like, oh, shit. That got me, that did. That is a good movie.
It is a
Yeah,
good movie. It's
Watch
quite
that,
underrated. Number 2 is terrible, though. But
number 2 is, I wouldn't worry with number 2, but number 1.
But the killer or the image looks like something out of Slipknot, really, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
The
it's
face
like a
he has.
symbol, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
There's a symbol, yeah. It's very,
Isn't it?
very metal.
Fucking metal.
No, I can't remember. I have seen it. It's good.
Obviously didn't make as much of an impression on you.
No, because it's been a while I've watched that one.
Ah, okay.
It's been a while. Tell your face again.
I was going to ask, when you're scared, when you're scared, what sort of, like, when shit actually gets you? I know before going off a tangent, what sound do you make when you're really scared when you're watching a movie? Like, when you did the beginning, is that you?
No, I tend to be quiet, but I just jump. It's
I tend to like.
Yeah, like that.
I go,
You fucking baby.
I think I just want
No,
to know.
you just go.
No, I can do the pressure, but no one can see it at home. It's like this. So you're kind of like asleep, and then you go.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm literally like, if you get it gets a physical jump from me, and then I'm like, damn it.
Yeah,
If you
fucking got me.
If you listen carefully when I'm scared, it's literally like something's squeezing
Like you
me.
just come or something.
Yeah, really.
It's been a while. Number 1.
It's number 1.
1, 2, 3. Anyway,
Been a while.
Yeah, we started him off that.
I love a bit of stoned. Right, my number 1 is.
It's been a long.
It's got to be what it is, in my opinion, the best jump scare ever in horror history, and it's from a movie called The Descent.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you pretty much know what I'm talking about when I mean this, and I'm going with the jump scare from the night vision camera. If anyone doesn't know what The Descent is, it's about a group of women that go exploring in caves. It's kind of like the thing they do. They go hiking and stuff and whatnot.
Why
and they,
do that?
Exactly. I mean, just why fucking do that?
Because you're exploring.
Go exploring new caves and whatnot, and obviously they get shut in, don't they? They get like what's the word? Trapped.
Caved in.
Caved in. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So they go through all these other caves to try and figure out a way out. Obviously, on the way out, they come across these creatures that have been living in there for donkeys' years, centuries, whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's a very specific scene when they first meet this creature, or creatures, should I say?
I thought there was humans.
No, well, we don't know. They
They're
probably
like-
were at one
they're like
point because they've been down there for years.
Cave, blind things, aren't they?
Like I said, this movie is perfect for me. It's very well filmed, very well placed, and very well gets you to want to. It's very much like watching Aliens for the first time. You build these characters up, and then you actually give a shit about them. And then when shit starts to happen, you're like, "Fuck, what do we do with them now?" Neil Marshall's filming in this movie is phenomenal. How he gets wide cameras into tiny cave areas and whatnot. The light in this film is very realistic as well. Everything from their head torches to the torches they own, anything with a lighter, is literally the only light in this movie. There is nothing else in this film that ever gives you any other source of light. So whatever they have is how you see it. And I love that aspect of it, because when they see things from afar and they think they've seen something, you don't get the full aspect. Your mind plays that imagination, plays tricks on you. It's like, oh shit, I thought I saw something there. Well, you'll never know, because their light is too shit to see that far.
Yeah.
Anyway, they get to this 40 minutes in, maybe 45 minutes into the movie. They get to this part where there's bones everywhere. Like it's like a hunting ground or eating area or whatever. And it's got like this gorgeous waterfall, whatnot. And they got to a point where they figured out, right, we're in shit now. There is so many human bones here. There's human remains, there's animal remains. There is everything here. And they're like, fuck, we're done. Right, anybody, can someone get us out of here? One gets a lighter out, and then next minute one's going, oh, wait a minute, we've got a camera. Let's have a look round. And we can put it into night vision. And it has a look around, whatnot. And then one of the women just fucking freaks out, and she's just like, come on, someone get me out of here. And as the camera turns, one of them's turned their hair camera to the side, and that's when you see this image of just this fucking creepy guy right behind them. And their reaction, oh my God, it's one of the best acting ever. Their reaction to that, their screams, they're terrified, is on point with whatever this thing is. And how it starts attacking and whatnot, how they try and run away and everything. It is a jump scare I never saw coming. No one else in that cinema ever saw that coming as well. And I'm talking about when I watched someone's reaction to it. So I played this for you guys a long time ago. Every Halloween we used to do horror movie marathon, and it was movies that you guys had never seen before. So Descent was one of them. I kid you not, man, right? I had a slightly better surround sound system at the time than I do now. And when this scene came up, I pumped the volume up on this so fucking high. Like, this was the time when my wife and kids were out for the day and night. They spent, so I could put this fucker up as loud as I want. When I knew this was coming, these lot had never seen it. And I kid you not, when this scene happened and that jump scare happened, little gal was like, oh, fucking hell, like that. I never saw something like that ever. Just like, he was scared shitless, man. He was so engrossed in this movie. And that scene itself, and just it's so well shot. Like the timing of it. Like, Neil Marshall is like a master when it comes to horror films. Shame his horror stuff is not as good as now. But there is so much passion for horror in this film, and oh my God, I cannot deny this, man.
Is there a bit where they're like going through like tight spaces and they're crawling through?
Yeah, there's parts where they get collapsed in even more and they have to get out in time. The tension building through this whole film is
you
so spot on.
Like you're trapped in with them, and that's why they're scared.
There's other parts where they figure out these creatures have been living in darkness for centuries, so they're essentially blind, aren't they, in the end?
Like
so they hear
albino things.
That's it, and their sense of hearing is the sharpest thing they have, apart from their teeth, of course. And there's another one. It's a typical jump scare, but it's also typical Neil Marshall. But the way the scare happens, like you think something's going to jump out from below or from beside or whatnot. She checks the corner. It's all good. They come back. She says, it's okay. And then suddenly he drops from the ceiling and he's like hanging like that. The scream these creatures do is phenomenal. It goes so well with these characters. And it's quite terrifying when you think of it. There's even parts where she hides in pools of blood and stuff so that she doesn't get killed and everything. And just a fantastic horror film, man. I cannot deny. It's in my top 5 of all time. If you ever listen to the episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you've never seen the movie, that night vision camera scene is by far one of the best jump scares of all time, in my opinion. That's my number 1.
Nice. Would you do it, G? Would you go through caving?
No, fuck that shit.
Not even if you were trapped in a cave and being mutilated and you have to squeeze out through a cave.
Oh, if I have to
through an air vent.
I'll just say, come fucking get me, man. I'll fucking die. Unless I see a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is no light at the end of the tunnel.
And fuck that.
Biggest G. Number 1, sir.
My number 1 is a film called Lights Out.
Lights Out.
Oh, okay.
I think for me, this is one of the best jump scares I've ever experienced. And also it has the satisfaction of I've had the satisfaction actually getting to watch it with everyone, and I've never seen a reaction from one of my friends. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm brilliant. I'll quickly explain the film. I think Lights Out, I do my best. Basically, I'm not sure the premises of it, but when you turn the lights off, the sort of figures or
Creature.
creatures, humanoids. But so essentially, if we turn the light out now, there'll be someone over there.
Yeah.
If I turn it back on, he disappears.
Yeah.
And that's the basis of the whole film. But I can't remember the storyline of it. Which
it's been a while since I've watched it. Yeah,
ages.
I remember the premise of it, but I don't remember the film as much. Obviously, it wasn't that great. But.
And the jump scares right off the bat. I think this woman is closing up shop or closing up workplace.
This is the beginning, isn't it? Yeah.
And it really gets you. So she's turning off all the lights, and she gets to her last room, and she flicks the light off, and she sees someone. She flicks it back on. She goes, flicks it back on. Someone's there, flicks it back on, and you're like, fuck, okay. And she does it 3-4 times, and eventually she does it the very last moment before she gets fucked or whatever. And
She
she's
gets
literally
fucked.
killed off or whatever. It literally just comes so close, because she does it very slowly in the beginning.
So why would you keep doing that? Just keep the light on and go.
Exactly right. Exactly. That's what you're thinking. But but you're curious. You're like, so what's going on? What?
I wouldn't be if I saw that. Fucking women, man.
You're curious, like, what is it going to? Is it getting closer? Because it plays with you. Because when she does it fast and fast, it's like, is it getting closer? Is it getting closer? And it goes fast and it literally just comes in your face, like literally
Comes in your face.
Oh. But yeah,
it does.
I jumped out my seat, and I think
It's that same thing, isn't it? Stop motion imaging almost.
Yeah.
It's like that,
It's
something moving, but
idea.
you not seeing it moving.
Yeah.
I think it's something where I've witnessed, and I'm like, how has no one utilize? Maybe they have in a different way, but it was used.
They've done movies where creatures or things can't go in the light and stuff, or darkness falls.
It's the
or
same
pitch
thing
black
that
or
you were
whatnot.
talking about with the Dick Asylum, where the thing's coming closer when you don't see it.
Yeah,
moving.
but that was it wasn't flicking. He was
no.
standing still.
Yeah, but when you look away, I mean, not with the light, but it's been done that sort of as you look away, something comes closer.
But and
it's
the
a
thing
very
is,
good.
You don't see.
It's like, how close is it now if I turn it off?
That's
so.
it. And you're like, is it getting closer? Is it getting closer? And when you actually start thinking, by the time it's too late, it's literally in your not in your face, like really close, and it's still like a black silhouette, and you just see these shiny sort of tints in its eyes, and it's like, whoa. And
I might need to watch it again. Actually,
I think there's more of that sort of jump scare throughout the film. Is probably not the best, but that sort of.
But for jump scare,
but for you, it was more iconic. So.
And we sat down and watched it with the whole family. I was so excited to see this shit. And I had my missus, I had my brothers, and my mum on the left, and my mate, my brother's mate actually, and he was on the sofa on his own on the right hand side, right? So we were watching it, and we were like waiting for it. I was like, here we go. And as soon as he does the bit, and then my friend, my brother's mate goes, oh shit, and it goes. And it goes, and it keeps going, and as soon as it comes in the front, he just jumped out the seat, and then he literally screamed, "He's and he's one of those like gym buffs, like you wouldn't expect. He's quite big, and it's he literally fell to the ground, and then throughout the whole film, he sat next to my mum. Seriously,
in the
fucking pussy,
in the safety zone,
mate. It was brilliant. Oh, it was so good. But yeah,
that's what a good horror jump scare can do. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's right.
It's a shame I can't remember the whole film, but again, that specific.
But this is what we're
specific moment was brilliant. Was actually brilliant.
But this is what we're saying. It's like I was saying, you right at the top of this. Sometimes a good jump scare or a moment like that can really stick in your mind, whereas maybe the rest of the movie can't.
Yeah,
which is a good example there.
There you go.
100%. Brilliant.
Nice, sir. And bring it home, Dave. What is your number one?
My number one is a bit of a cheat because it's a horror TV show.
Ooh, okay. We'll take it. We'll take it.
It's my fucking list. Try and stop me.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, it's a good one. This is the most quintessential jump scare you can get. This is the one that has got me the hardest of anything, in TV or film, jump scare wise, right? And I've spoke to my sister, who's quite a hard nut to scare. And it got her so good as well. So much so that she said, if you're watching this TV series, wait for the jump scare in episode, 7 or wherever it was. And it fucking gets you. And I knew it was going to be in there somewhere in this episode, but she didn't say when and where. And it comes out of left field. So the TV series is Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You seen that?
I have seen that, but not the second one.
No, so this is the first series.
First one, yeah, okay.
It's really good. It's an excellent season. I think I've talked about it before. Go and watch it if you haven't. No,
okay.
This is when the two sisters, so the mortician one, and the one with the gloves who can touch stuff.
Yes, yeah.
They're driving in the car in the dark, right? And there's a very long scene where it's just one focused on, from the side, on one of them talking to their sister. Then it cuts to the other side and it's talking to, her talking back. And it's an exposition dump. They're having an argument about something, and it's a long scene. And this is why this jump scare works so well, because you do not see it coming. The only reason you see it coming is if you've listened to this fucking podcast and you're listening to me telling you about it. Because I challenge anyone to fucking say they saw this coming, because you are sitting there going, oh, because
you
that
get involved in their conversation.
Yes,
don't you?
because
get
that TV series is very good at releasing information at certain points. So the more you watch, the more information you gather about the past, about what happened on that night when they were kids, etc., etc. It's all about a family that's being haunted in a house, and one of the sisters, the youngest one, commits suicide.
Right.
So they think, and then you go back and you see each episode focuses on a different person. So it's very good at disseminating information in bits, so you get to build up the full picture as you watch through the TV series. So you're in one of these sections where they're having an argument in a car. There's not even anything, they're not stationary, it's not something that's going to jump out in the window. You're not expecting this at all. And then suddenly, after about 3 minutes, whatever, of them arguing and talking, the dead sister's ghost lunges through between their heads and goes, "Ah!" and points at something. Oh my. It's so simple, and it doesn't sound, but if you people have watched this and they're listening at home, they would have been got.
Yeah, I mean, I totally remember that part,
because they then the car, they almost crash the car off the road and they jump out and they're like, what the, but you just do not see it coming.
Yeah.
You do not see that fucker coming.
I remember because
it's so cheap. It just happens in a safe. It's like having a jump scare in the middle of the credits.
When me and my wife watched this, right, and I had an old TV which got screen burn. You ever heard that term?
Yeah.
So when your screen gets burnt, it's like a printed image that stays on your screen.
There forever,
and I thought, I'll do this. I'll do some picture adjustments one night. I wasn't really listening to the conversation one night. And then I had to get close to the TV to try and see this image thing. And that's when came out. I was like, fuck!
Dude, but it gets you because you're just listening. You're like, oh, this is going to fill in a bit more of the story, you know? Or we're having a good character moment, and then it just comes out of fucking nowhere for no reason. There's no music build up, there's no cues or anything. It just comes out of fucking nowhere. And I had to put this down because it is the most purest of pure jump scares.
Yeah, 100%.
There is nothing around it. There is no build up. It's not the fact that she's a ghost woman. It's just the suddenness of it. Comes out of nowhere. I jumped the biggest I've ever jumped to anything. Yeah, my sister as well. It got her good, so much so that she fucking texted me about it. And
yeah,
was like,
nice.
Keep an eye out for it, but I'm not going to tell you when. You're going to have to see it yourself. And then I was watching that whole episode thinking there's a big fucking jump scare at some point because my sister texted me about it.
I know there's a twist.
Yeah, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Because in that point, you're sucked in and you're really
you kind of forget about it, really.
You're forgetting about it, and then suddenly, just a simple fucking thing, wham, from the middle.
Wham, wham, bam, thank you, man.
That's a good show, though. Brilliant.
It is a very good show. And there's lots of other good sort of moments in it, good horror moments, but I'm sure
we have brought it up before,
Go back and listen.
Good shout, sir. Good picks, guys. I don't think we even clashed at all once.
No, we didn't.
No.
I thought we'd clash, but I was because of honourable mentions.
I was close. I think I was going to.
Any honourable mentions?
Yes. The Grudge.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't. So everyone knows this movie freaks me out. So I didn't put it down as a jump scare because I think, again, this goes back to what Dave said. It's more of a scene, like a scary moment, than it is a jump scare for me.
Really?
Yeah. So when we do scary moments in movies, I will go into that a bit more.
Okay.
There is a jump scare in it, but the moment of the movie is what scares me more than the jump scare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wreck.
Yes. Yes, definitely. That attic scene with the kids up there, man.
Yeah.
Fucking jump scare and a half. Brilliant.
And also, this might not have scared you, but House on the Haunted Hill, the movie that came out like near the 2000s.
The remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not...
No, he hasn't seen it, so don't go... Don't go too
film?
much in it, yeah.
Okay, no worries. But yeah,
Just say the movie. I know what you're talking about, though.
There's
I know what
some
bit you're
bits-
talking about.
I watched it when I was
Is
quite...
this a new movie then? Or
No, it came out in 99.
Yeah.
House on Haunted Hill, yeah.
We kind of got Goku's mum to rent it.
Yes, that is freaky as shit, that film.
Proper gets you.
It's
but,
really
yeah.
good.
There's other two, which it's not horror. Again, I think Lord of the Rings, that moment with Bilbo. But yeah, there's more than that, sorry.
With Bilbo?
Yeah, you know when he's got the ring and he's like, my precious... And he
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That is a good jump scare, that bit.
Yeah,
That's usually my face when my wife finds my porn stash. Dave, any honourable mentions?
I'm just a lot of them were covered. I had The Descent.
Oh, sorry. The one I took off
had-
my ling,
Your Ling?
my list was The Sign. It's a moment,
Signs.
Signs, sorry.
With Mel Gibson.
Yes.
Yeah.
M. Night.
M. Night Shyamalan, yeah.
The moment where the reveal of it's a camcorder footage.
Yes, and do you know what? I put that on my honourable mentions, but I did it for the scene in the basement when the hand grabs him from behind. Do you remember that?
Oh, the alien.
The alien hand grabs the kid, doesn't he?
Oh, that scared you more, okay.
Mate, that scared the shit out of me.
I think it was the realism of that.
No, that part when it's revealed, I thought it was a fake video thing, so it didn't scare me as much.
Okay, that really spooked the shit out of me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, you were
So
going.
yeah, I had The Ring.
The remake or the original?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah, I had that on my list. Yeah.
I also really wanted to put in The Autopsy of Jane Doe because I love that movie.
You love that movie, yeah.
That's one of my
wicked.
favourite, but I just couldn't justify it as such because they're not really that intense on
Jump
like,
scares.
jump scares.
Okay, yeah.
It's more-
But like you were saying, there's some really good scenes, like when you've had that whole. There's so much foreshadowing that. There's when the radio clicks on.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's not really a jump scare. And then there's the bit where they've talked about the bell being on the body toe in case, because in the old days they weren't sure if they were dead and they'd hear it ringing.
That's right, yeah.
And then when it's all dark and some shit's going down and you just hear ding ding and down the corridor. So yeah, like I
That's
really
a
wanted
good
to put stuff like that in, but I couldn't. And yeah, like I say, a lot of them were covered. Yeah, I can't think of any others that I had on there. Yeah, Quiet Place again. You did Quiet Place, didn't you?
Yeah, it was on number 5.
Yeah, so yeah, I can't think of anything out the top of my
I'll
head.
throw in a couple more. So Jaws has the first ever jump scare in it with the head. That was going to be my number 5, but I felt like I think I had a bit more of an effect with the What Lies Beneath jump scares than I did with that. But that is a very iconic jump scare, the one from Jaws. The Friday the 13th original ending, when Jason pops out of the water and drags her back down into the thing.
Oh, yes.
That is such a cool, calm
Yes,
scene.
I
You think the
forgot
movie's
about that,
over,
yeah.
and the next minute this fucking kid just pulls her down. That's a really cool ending. Do you remember St. Maud?
Yeah, oh yeah.
haven't
St.
seen it,
Maud,
but I know
that
of
is
it, yeah.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That jump scare in that, and you know what I'm talking about because it builds up to it all the time.
I know that film.
We'll come back to another time because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. You mentioned Signs. Drag Me to Hell.
Yep.
Drag Me to Hell's got some fantastic jump scares.
Yeah,
Some that
it
have
does.
scared the shit out of me. The Thing with the chest that opens up.
Yeah.
The Ring remake, Dave's already mentioned. The Texas Chainsaw 2003 remake. There's a
Oh no, hang on, I'm thinking about the Netflix one. You go on.
the 2003 one. There's a really good scene where you didn't see it coming, where Leatherface knocks him out with a sledgehammer. Carrie as well. Have you ever seen it? There's a part where the mum's hand comes out of the grave and pulls Carrie down and whatnot. That was a scene that no one ever saw coming. I put Evil Dead 2 as well. There's a couple of scenes in the basement scene that are quite cool. Little jump scare things. Bit cheesy, like Dave's thought, but cool little jump scares in there. Insidious, you've already said. Wreck, you've already said. That's pretty much all I've got. I'm sure there's a
loads.
ton more, but again,
tons more, yeah.
you know, we're not professionals when it comes to this, so...
The crappy Texas Chainsaw remake on Netflix right at the end where she gets her head cut off when she thought
Right at the end,
right at
yeah.
the end when they're escaping in the car. That was a good little jump
That was a
scare.
good little jump scare.
And satisfying.
Yes, most definitely.
The first
Fuck yeah.
satisfying jump scare where you're like, yeah,
You're like,
you didn't get away.
yeah. But yeah, good episode there, guys. Before we sign off, though, you want to do a shout out, Dave.
I just wanted to shout out my little bro.
Hi, little bro. What's your
Hi,
name?
little bro Joe.
Hey, bro.
Joe.
Because apparently he's a fan of the show.
Ah,
So
hi,
I'm going
Joe.
to test him. This is a secret Easter egg at the end if he listens the whole way through.
The whole way through. Joe,
Is he
thanks
the-
for listening and being a fan of the show, mate. Appreciate it loads.
He's the trophy hunter, right?
Yeah, he's a trophy hunter. I bet he's got more trophies than you.
I'm better than him.
Nah, I bet you. Anyway,
we better go because Gal's mum's calling him. Anyway, guys,
you're now too late.
if you like, well, listen to, follow us on Facebook at the M.T.V.B Podcast, or on Instagram at M.T.V.B Podcast, or on TikTok at M.T.V Podcast 197. I'm your host Anthony, followed by
Gal, aka Grey Fox.
Dave, bog standard Dave.
and we'll see you next week for the final episode of Spooktacular Season. Goodbye, guys.